Well, if you aren't exhausted enough already from the 3 superb Grands Prix that we've had already so far here today at the Misano World Circuit Marco Simoncelli, well, you're going to need an extra coffee to perk yourself up, or maybe not, because within the first couple of laps we can see just how dramatic it gets here in MotoE. This is the final race of the day, the final race of the season for MotoE, and there is your World Cup classification leader, Jordi Torres. He'll be taking off from pole position once again here this afternoon. My name's Matt Dunn, alongside me as ever is Neil Morrison, and down in pit lane, well, on the grid actually at this present moment, will be Fran Wild. And I'm wondering, Fran, if I could pass to you pretty quickly, what is the atmosphere like down there? We've got Jorge Lorenzo on our screens there, getting a look at the MotoE action.
Well, hello there. Yeah, the atmosphere is pretty buzzing down here, as you would expect for the last race of the season. You can probably hear the helicopter coming over as well in the back of my microphone. But yeah, great atmosphere, final race, everyone's so ready for it, but definitely a bit of tension in the air. Looks like we're going to get a dry one. I don't want to tempt fate, but at least at the moment, it's still grey skies, but holding firm.
Yeah, that's good news to hear, Fran, for sure. As we look at the men on the front row of the grid, Eric Granado obviously suffering late heartbreak yesterday, crashing out at the final turn when he had just taken the lead off Domi Egeter, and that set up a really unlikely win for Jordi Torres, who comes into this final race with an 8-point advantage over Egeter. So we have to say that it's a 2-horse race with Granado 24 points back. But we just saw pictures of the former 5-time world champion Jorge Lorenzo on the grid, and he is down there with Fran.
He is indeed. So a bit of a different grid interview today, some MotoGP royalty. So Jorge, we saw you having a look at the Energica machines down here. What do you make of it?
Yeah, I think it's going to be the future, you know. We need to try to make the wall a little bit more green, and for sure this is the future. We need to get used to it. I think yesterday's race was very, very funny to watch, very competitive till the last corner, and I think little by little the bikes will improve, will have more autonomy, and we will be lighter. So technology is growing so quick, every 10 years, very, very quick in all the areas. So I think the future is now faster than we think.
Are you tempted to do a Sete Gibernau return and have a go at any point?
No, Sete have a huge passion for riding. He have a track in his house. I am different. I am super focused when I have a goal, and I am in this world. When I am outside the wall, or I am just as a spectator, I don't take the bike, so I just enjoy for other things in my life.
Well, it's great to see you down here anyway. Thanks a lot.
Thank you to you.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Fran and Jorge Lorenzo. Glad to hear that he thoroughly enjoyed the MotoE race yesterday, as he should. I mean, it was sensational. Jordi Torres pipping Dominic Egeter to the line by 1/10 of a second. Mattia Casadei in third after Eric Granado crashed out at that final corner.
Yeah, and of course we had 4 championship challengers going into yesterday's race. If you're wondering what happened to Alessandro Zacconi, crashed out at turn 3 on the first lap, was run over by Hikari Okubo. And well, he was taken to hospital yesterday evening. Thankfully has been discharged with no major injuries, but is in no fit state to take part in this race. So Zacconi will not be on the grid, unfortunately.
Yeah, we absolutely send our very best wishes to him. It was a bit of a concern to see him, to say the least, to see him go down there. So look at Jordi Torres staring down his camera as well on the grid. Fran, you got something to add?
I was just going to say, I believe Zacconi has been back in the paddock to lend his support to the team as well. So obviously super disappointing in terms of the title fight, but mainly obviously that he is pretty okay considering the crash we saw. So that was very, very good to see.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a pretty scary fall. But great to hear that Zacconi back in the paddock today and relatively okay after that scary crash. We also don't have Andre Perez on the grid today because he suffered a bicycle accident, I think, over the weekend, and has a bit of a shoulder injury.
Yeah, so shame he will not be taking part here today as well. That leaves Jasper Ivermer, the final rider. So 16 riders on the grid here for this final race of the season.
And you can see there that we have some championship connotations on the left-hand side of your screen. It's going to be a big ask for Eric Granado to win the championship. Obviously, he needs to win the race to have any chance of that. And basically for Torres, he will win it if he just finishes one place behind Egeter, or obviously if he finishes ahead of him.
Yeah, there you go then. So I did actually speak to Eric Granado earlier on, asked how he was. He seemed a lot more chirpy than I think you found him to be yesterday, Neil, after the race. Understandably distraught, so he was. It's one of those in the final corner of the final lap. Championship technically on the line. You got to go for it, but also do you? But also you do have to go for it. And yeah, I mean, you can understand why he made that overtaker move on this very rider here, Dominic Egeter.
Yeah, Egeter had done a fantastic job leading the race, didn't really make any mistakes. Granado was just a bit stronger in those final two lefts that bring this lap to an end. And as you say, Matt, he did make the move. However, if he finished second, he would have come into this race just 1 point off the championship lead. Obviously, hindsight is a wonderful thing, and when you're in the heat of the battle, you got to go for that space. Egeter, though, if he has 9 more points than Torres, he will be champion today, and that means that if he wins and Torres is third or lower, Egeter is champion.
Just a few different variations of the results. We'll try and gather our thoughts properly in the heat of the moment. This is your front row then. Casadei, Granado and Jordi Torres taking off. Well then, tyre warmers about to come off, the grid is being cleared. Let's get a rundown of how we'll be starting today's final race of the FIA MotoE World Cup. Torres first from Granado and Casadei in third. They are row 1. Row 2 is Egeter, Ferrari and Aldeguer in 6th place. Pons, Zanoni and Tulovic are row 3, with Hernandez, Akubo and Cardalus on row 4. The last full row we have here today with 2 riders missing is Mantovani, Perolari and Maria Herrera, and Jasper Ibama just there bringing up the rear. Little rundown from some of the results we had yesterday as well. I'd say keep your eye out for Mattia Casadei. He's got a couple of podiums and he certainly wants to get a win here. Probably buoyed by his close friend Enea Bastianini getting the podium back in MotoGP 40 minutes ago or so. Matteo Ferrari has great form here as well. He finished 4th yesterday. He could be one to watch as well. Who's your money on, Neil?
I think my money's on Eric Granado. Middle of the first row, he said last night that, well, he knows his only chance is to go out and win. And, well, he has a little less to lose, you could say, than Torres and Egeter at this time. So, yeah, the Brazilian for me. What about you?
I'm going to say Jordi Torres, just because he showed that extra bit of aggression yesterday that he needed to take on this season to grab a second World Cup victory. So for me, however, Dominic Egeter, he's not skipped that World Supersport round weekend in Barcelona for nothing, has he? He is here with one thing and one thing in mind only, and that is the World Cup victory. So I think we just covered the top 3 contenders in there, haven't we?
Yeah. At least you just kept your predictions to 2 names today rather than the usual 8 or 9.
Actually, it's MotoE, not Moto2, mate, so yeah.
Yeah, Zacconi had qualified on 3rd, but he's not in the grid, so everyone else moves up 1 space from 4th below. So Casadei takes the final spot on the front row. Torres, Granado, Casadei, but watch out for Egeter, who will now be fronting the 2nd row in 4th.
Well, I tell you what, I'm nervous and my heart rate is right up in anticipation for this. I can't imagine what it must be like down there on the grid. No warm-up lap, of course. 15 seconds to go before we go racing. Even less than that. We're getting underway early. The lights are about to come on and MotoE will burst into life for the final time in 2021. And it's go! And it's a very clean start from Torres immediately, and Casadei as well. Looks like he could get the whole shot in towards turn 1. So he does. Egeter up the inside of Granado, like it was yesterday, but Ferrari round the outside of both of them. It's Casadei from Torres and Ferrari in 3rd, with Dominic Egeter in 4th, all safely through turns 1, 2 and 3 at this stage.
Yeah, great to see everyone make it through turn 3 safely. This time Eric Granado was the man that lost out on that. He's gone from 2nd to 5th. pushed back in through turn 1 and 2, squeezed by Domi Egerter, but Matteo Ferrari could well be a dark horse here. He has got the jump 6th up to 3rd.
Yeah, keep your eye on number 11. The other factor here is in this race we do have 8 laps rather than yesterday's 7. Didn't mess that up at the beginning, no, not at all. But Jordi Torres, will he mess up that overtaking towards turn 8? No, just not late enough on the brakes compared to Casadei. He's off like a Scot and straight in towards turn 9 and 10. He's up for this win today.
Yeah, in some ways Torres can just always Egerter jumps underneath Ferrari for 3rd. He has to be super aggressive in these opening laps because he cannot give away any ground to Jordi Torres just up ahead. Super stuff from the Swiss rider.
So you got Casadei from Torres, Egerter and Ferrari neck and neck as we come through Curvone. Who's going to get it? I think it's Ferrari, but Casadei and Torres neck and neck now. Oh, breaking it down in towards turns 12, 13 and then 14. Torres has taken the lead and it's Ferrari maintaining 3rd, but for how long? Egerter up the inside. Immediate response from the Swiss.
Brilliant stuff from Egerter, being super aggressive here on this first lap with 2 overtakes on Matteo Ferrari. And how about this for aggression from Jordi Torres? He doesn't actually need to be doing this. I thought he would be quite happy to let Casadei go ahead and maybe break away at the front. All he has to worry about is the man number 77, 2 places behind, but he's not approaching it that way.
So as we come across the line there, nothing to really separate the top 5. Some of the main contenders. Casadei looking for the win, Matteo Ferrari looking for redemption, and your 3 title fighters. What more could you want here in MotoE, the finale of 2021? Here's a prime overtaking spot up towards here in turn 4. Ferrari has a look up the inside. Egerter flicks the rear wheel out, and look at Tulovic up the inside of the rookie. Firming out together, not for long. He sighs back underneath him. Moto2 European style for the both of them.
Tulovic made a pretty decent comeback from the back of the grid after running off at the chicane at the start of yesterday's race. He ended up finishing 8th, so keep an eye on Tulovic, although I think he's too far back to be fighting for the podium this time around. We go on board with Eric Granado. Is that Ferrari has got back past Egerter? He has. So the 2019 World Cup winner is proven to be a bit of a thorn in the side of the title contender.
Neil, how fast is this race with Egerter up the inside into 3rd once again, but will Ferrari get him on the cutback? I think he will. Egerter got to be so careful with the throttle application here. Granado now all over the back of Ferrari as well. Neil, we've set up an all-time lap record in MotoE already in this race. 3 141s from the top 3. This is absolutely all on the line for the World Cup today.
Yeah, impressive stuff indeed, and Jordi Torres will be joining the Matteo Ferrari fan club after this race because Ferrari has done a great job of holding up Egerter and allowing the front 2 to get a bit of a lead on him. He now has 7/10 of a second to make up to Casadei, but look at Torres leading from the front. This is really impressive stuff.
This is exactly what he needs to do, in my opinion. Why play it safe if you feel you've got the pace, which he showed he did back in the e-pole session yesterday lunchtime? Well, just why not go out and lead from the front? We're on board now with Granado. Looking to go up the inside of Ferrari once again. He's so good on the brakes, is the Brazilian. And he's going to go up the inside into turn 2. Yes, he does, and he absolutely nails it. But no sign of Ferrari on the cutback then. Through turn 3 we come, and the sun just comes out superbly as Eric Granado sends it sideways into turn 4 now. He's on the hunt for Egerter up ahead.
Yeah, Granado should just tag on to the back here of Domi Egerter and try and get dragged up towards the front 2 because he has a pretty good pace, you have to say. Jordi Torres, though, his lead is up at 6/10 of a second. He's pulled out another 2/10 at the start of this lap, and that's Mikel Pons now moving underneath Matteo Ferrari for 5th.
Well then, that is Pons into the mix as well. Another rider I was about to mention really on as we were looking at the grid, because he did finish in P5 yesterday. He is an ever-present threat. And here's Granado with that very wide sweeping line from turn 9 in towards turn 10. Over they come on towards the back straight then. He's not quite got the pace of the leaders at the moment, has he, Granado?
Doesn't really have that pace at all, to be honest. You can see there Matteo Ferrari back underneath Mikel Pons with a great move into Curvone. That takes a great amount of confidence in the front end, but Torres here is doing a disappearing act, Matt. He's got another 10th out of Casadei. He's 7/10 clear now. This is looking to be a gap. Egerter now is up into 2nd.
Yeah, that was a move and a half into turn 15. We know how easy it is to lose the front end there, but that was just superb from Egerter. He was excellent at both the defence and the attack yesterday. Well, he's got no other option but to hunt down Jordi Torres now then. So what's the gap as they come across the line? Just under 1 second. A 1:42.9 from Aegerter last time around. I messed up my all-time lap records there, so that is in fact just shy of the all-time lap record from Eric Granado last year, but quicker than pole position.
Yeah, impressive stuff from Aegerter as we go on board with, I think this is Torres. Yes, it is. And you can see there 1.1 seconds he has on hand on his principal rival, Domi Aegerter.
Well then, as we come through turn 6 then, yeah, a bit of a gap. So Torres, he's certainly responding very well to the progression of Aegerter, his main title rival. 8 points, I remind you, separate the two of them with less than 5 laps to go now. Well, just got to keep your head down and carry on, Jordi, if you want this second World Cup victory. But there it is then, the new best race lap from Dominique Aegerter. Will he be able to chase down Torres through these sections? He's clawed it back a little bit by another 10th. How about it?
Yeah, Torres is playing this absolutely right, because he's got enough in hand that even if Aegerter does overtake him, he should be far enough ahead of Casadei in third to make sure that the title is safe. Remember, Torres does not need to beat Aegerter. If he finishes second, 1 place behind him, that'll be enough to retain his World Cup.
But Casadei is only a 10th of a second behind him as we see Ferrari overtake Granado into 4th place once again up into turn 14. I think he made it through very cleanly. So now 8/10 of a second between Torres and Dominique Aegerter. But what if Aegerter brings Casadei with him? That could pose a real threat to the title chase for, well, not if he's going off track like that, it won't. Goodness me.
Yeah, that wasn't just exceeding track limits by a little amount, that was by a huge amount there from Casadei. You can see here Torres and Aegerter trading fastest laps once again. Aegerter is just a little faster, but he's going to have to make more ground than that in the 4 laps that remain if he wants to catch the Spanish rider up ahead. You can see there another new best race lap, 42.7, but Torres was, well, less than a 10th slower than Aegerter at that time around.
Well, do I hear anything there? That was something in the back of my headset. I thought someone had gone down potentially. Has someone gone down in the background? Maybe not, but yes, someone has gone down. I don't know who it is, but someone has. Who is it? Oh, it's Hernandez. Dearie me, what a shame for the Colombian and the Pramac Racing E-team. But fortunately up and okay, that's the main thing. So no overtaking potentially next time around in sectors 1. Still 3.5 laps to go though as the leaders come through turns 9 and 10. Aegerter just 7/10 of a second shy of Jordi Torres now, but this is where Jordi is so strong. But what about the slipstream? Is Aegerter in touch here through Cavone?
Yeah, not quite to get the real benefits of that slipstream up ahead, but Aegerter is putting everything into this. He really has nothing to lose. It's just go for the win and see what happens. Put as much pressure as you can over Jordi Torres, because surely there'll be a few nerves with 1 or 2 laps to go ahead of this championship finale. Another thing, Matt, is Granado. Well, we thought he might be in with a shot of the win, but he's been pushed all the way back to 7th behind Fermin Aldeguer. It's just not working out for the Brazilian.
Wow, that is a real shame to see the Brazilian out of the title fight this time around. Track limits warning, and I'm not surprised for Mattia Casadei. He basically already went to the beach with going so wide at turn 16. As they come across the line then, 5/10, under half a second separate Torres and Aegerter. 3 laps to go, but Aegerter not bringing Casadei with him, which he really needed to do.
Yeah, well, we see if Aegerter does manage to get in front with more than, say, 1 or 2 laps. Will he try and hold Torres up a little bit to try and bring the others back into play? The thing is, though, the others are 1.7 seconds back of Aegerter.
He's going to have to really slow them up, isn't he? As we see then, we got another yellow flag in sector 1. Has somebody else gone down? We've got Aldeguer, who's got a long lap penalty for exceeding track limits too many times. It's Tulovic who's gone down. Oh, what a shame for the German. His last race in MotoE for this year, of course. It was a crash for him in qualifying that stopped his charge for pole. And unfortunately, that's the end of his season there.
Yeah, tricky place is turn 4, obviously catching out Hernandez and then and Tulovic on consecutive laps. You can see now that Aegerter is continuing to reel in the number 40 just up ahead.
That gap now 2.3 seconds back to Casadei then, so he's going to have to absolutely park him up, isn't he? Going to force him into a parallel parking space or something like that to actually get past him. Aldeguer's taken his long lap penalty, but now it's safe to say Aegerter right on the back of Jordi Torres. This is the World Cup fight, ladies and gentlemen. We're going into the penultimate lap, plus 2 corners to go. That is where Aegerter made that sensational move on Casadei a couple of laps ago. He is right on the back of Torres then. How about this? What more could you want?
Exactly, yeah, we have our 2 title contenders here, fronting up towards a last lap fight. Just 2 laps left of the 2021 FIM MotoE World Cup, and Aegerter, we have to say, is riding beautifully to get towards Torres. He's closed basically a second in the last 3 laps. And let's see if he can manage to make a move to get ahead.
Looked like Torres was a bit quicker through turn 3, but Aegerter braking absolutely as late as he could. The front end just bobbling all over the place it was back into turn 1. Straight on the back of him, he is still in the slipstream zone as well as we come out of turn 6, down the back straight, or one of the 2 back little straights. Actually, it's through turn 7 that we've got here. Will Aegerter make a move this time around in towards Tone? Is he close enough? Yes, he is. He's going for it. Is Aegerter backing it in? Will he park it enough? No, because Torres gets a switch back into turn 8, but now he knows he's there. Pressure on, up to maximum. The World Cup fight is raging on here, and Aegerter punches straight back into turn 10. Beautiful move. That's how you park it. But will Jordi get the drive out? They're neck and neck down the back straight now.
Super stuff, super racing as well, and Jordi Torres looks like he's going to get by
it's
into
like
Carboni.
Moto3. Look at this. You can't do that, Tommy. That's brilliant stuff. Torres holds his nerve and the line through Carboni. Oh, just sensational stuff for a finale of a series of 21. And Aegerter going up the inside again. Is he? Yes, this is brilliant. And he gets a switch back once again. This is great. You can nearly see the smiles through their helmets. Aegerter can't quite get it that time around. We'll have 1 more lap to go in MotoE for 2021. Out of the final corner they come. It's not just the drag to the line once this time around, but P2 okay for Jordi.
I'll tell you what, Torres doesn't just want to win this World Cup for the 2nd straight year. He wants to win this race as well. He's putting everything into staying ahead of Tommy Aegerter. Aegerter has no other choice. He may as well try and park it under Torres, sit them up, and allow the others to get a little bit closer. But with 1.7 seconds separating the top 2 and 3rd, you have to say it's a bit of a tall order from here.
How good is Jordi Torres through turns 1, 2 and 3? He proper eked out a good 0.2 of a second on Aegerter there. He didn't have much for him. Is he close enough this time around? He's further away than he was this time last time around. I don't think he's going to be able to park it in front of him this time. No, he's going to have to plan an attack for turn 10 then. Can Aegerter nail the exit to try and get in front of Torres over the next 2 corners? Time is running out for the Swiss rider.
It really is. You would say he has 2 places that realistically are still an option. This is one of them here. I think he's going to have a go.
He's going up. He's up the inside. Torres is going to let him know. He's parked it way too wide though. Is that it? Could that be the end? Because that is a huge gap for Torres. Aegerter had to try it, but he could barely get it stopped. But what about this final sector then? Just 4 or 5 more corners to go. Through Carboni we come.
Through Carboni we come, and it's going to come down to turn 14. Aegerter riding beautifully right here. He is closing right up. I think a move is incoming.
It is coming. Can he get it
Here
turned on the inside enough? Yes, he can. Oh, they touch. Oh, they're both. Oh, and Torres is down. And Aegerter, well, what about it? Will he take the win? He's wiped him out for the World Cup victory potentially. Or will someone get him up the inside? Ferrari's going to try and get the drag to the line. But has Aegerter done it? He laid it all on the line. He went over to the limit there. Across the line he comes, and it's potential World Cup victory for Dominic Aegerter. What a dramatic race, Neil.
Wow, can you believe that? What an end to the championship. That is quite insane. I can't believe that he actually did that. But
It's
Jordi
not
Torres,
over yet, mate.
It is under investigation.
That's why I said potential.
We have not heard the end of this. The FIM stewards are definitely going to have a look at this. Aegerter did brilliantly to get within range here. Is this legal?
Well, that is the question, isn't it? They'll have to have a look at the telemetry, but that is just... Oh, goodness me. I mean...
That is...
You've got to do everything you can and more, but we'll let the stewards decide if that was over the line. I'm pretty sure I know what Jordi Torres will think of it.
Absolutely, and the Pawns team, I'm sure they're running to the FIM stewards right now to protest that move. Well. Can you believe it? Shades of Herrada and Caparossi in Argentina in 1998. The really dramatic finale to that year's 250cc title, right the way down to the last lap, where a collision decided that title. I feel, though, that we're going to hear something from the FIM stewards. You can see Jordi Torres, understandably, is not amused with that. The thing is, Matt, is it a disqualifiable offence? Even if Egerter is penalised, let's say 3 positions or more.
Wow, I mean, what do you do?
He'll still be champion, because Torres came across the line in 13th, scoring 3 points. And look at that, they had the champions thing for the pit board already. They're putting it away just there. They were expecting to be able to show Jordi the pit board with World Cup winner once again, but it is on delay. We're going to have to hold on just for a minute, because
goodness me,
you haven't heard the end of this.
Apologies to video editors out there for me potentially ruining highlight reels by saying potential World Cup winner, because that's the truth. I mean, we don't know at this present moment, but Neil, I mean, it's no shortage of excitement. There is IRTA, the International Race Teams Association, not just talking about potential cups of tea and everything like that with the Dynavolt team. You know exactly what conversation is going on there. Torres absolutely gutted, understandably so. Yeah,
and I think you can see there that he might have tweaked his left arm, because didn't it get caught in between the back of his bike and the rear wheel in that fall? He did fall awkwardly, and you can see Jordi looks pretty devastated there. He could still be World Cup winner, Matt. It's important to stress that.
Could still be, yeah.
As it stands, Egerter has won it, but this is not quite over. And Torres, well, he's been through the ringer. He had ridden a brilliant race. Let's be frank about that.
They both had.
Say that straight away. Egerter did fantastic work to reel him in, but the way Torres went toe-to-toe with the number 77 was impressive. And you can see Egerter, he's not even celebrating. He doesn't think this is over either.
Yeah. Well, you say that, he's about to do a massive burnout. So that is Egerter in front of the Swiss fans then. A big burnout. I mean, do one anyways. It's the end of the season, bud. Enjoy it. It's been a stellar MotoE season in every sense. And just what a finale.
What a finale, yeah. Total drama. The way they changed leads a couple of times on the penultimate lap was really, really impressive. And then, of course, that moved on into turn 14. Wow. Can you believe it? Could you script that even better? What a finale to this third MotoE World Cup, and a bit of controversy as well. I'm sure Jordi Torres will have a few choice words for Domi Egerter.
We've had a controversial MotoE race, have we?
Yeah, there's been a few maybe comings together or crashes, collisions, but well, nothing with this much riding on it. The thing is, Matt, in the past or in normal circumstances, you would think, okay, Egerter maybe gets a 3-second penalty and loses 3 positions, but even if that's the case, he's still going to be champion. So
what do you do?
How severe, if there is a penalty, how severe would the penalty be?
Yeah, that is the big question.
We could well be looking at this man as the winner. Matteo Ferrari comes in second place at the moment.
5 from 7 wins, 5 wins from 7 at Misano, maybe. Another burnout for Egerter.
Egerter just deciding to pretend as if nothing really ever happened, and the result is not in doubt.
Wow, but that smells probably like orange peel and lemon peel, actually. Such as the biodegradable materials used in the in those. Wow. Well, I'm getting to the point, Neil, where I'm a bit lost for words, because I just don't know what's going to end up happening. I mean, Torres just absolutely gutted, as you can see.
He must have thought he had this.
Yeah, well,
even going into the last couple of laps, he must have thought, you know what, even if he does pass me,
that's it.
That's it, I can still win it.
He's quite hunched over, is Torres.
Yeah, I think he might have knocked himself about a bit, getting caught between the rear wheel and the bike. They think they've won it. Yeah,
they're pretty confident and happy. I mean, celebrate like you have. I mean, it could change, but oh man, you do hate to see that, don't you? Torres distraught there, then that'll be why he's so hunched. For goodness me, well, it's still potentially not over, Jordi.
Cedo Pons, double 250cc world champion.
goes to console his rider.
Yeah, Paco Sanchez, the rider's manager, on the right of your screens there. Going to see another replay here. Torres ahead, obviously coming down into turn 14. Egerter puts it under him, which he's within his right to do. But then,
thing is, if you look at, I mean, if he didn't hit Torres, he'd have been going nearly into the gravel. He braked so late with that trajectory.
plus Egerter his bike was well out of shape when his rear wheel touched Torres's front, so he was out of control in a sense. He didn't run off the track, which I think will count in Egerter's favour, but his bike was pretty out of shape when he did make contact with Torres, which I don't think will count in his favour. So really intrigued to see what will happen here. Obviously we don't like to see races and indeed championships decided in a steward's office, but these are pretty exceptional circumstances.
Oh.
And Jordi Torres, I mean, he rode his heart out.
Oh, there we go.
Whoa!
He's got a ride through.
38-second penalty. That means
who's the World Cup winner?
38 seconds puts him 13th.
Puts him 12th.
So Torres is champion.
So Torres is the winner. Jordi, you can cry with tears of happiness. Someone go tell him, please. Someone tell Jordi that he's won it. Because he's a double MotoE World Cup winner.
Egerter, has been dropped on the timing screens to 12th, which means he will have scored just one more point.
Paco, tell him. Someone go tell him.
He's the winner.
He is it. There you go. He's done it. So, wow. I mean, what a turn up for the books that is. I mean, what an extraordinary decision. But I'm not sure you can really say it for any other way. And those tears of sorrow and despair turn to joy as he screams to the heavens that he's a double MotoE World Cup winner.
That is a roller coaster of emotions. If ever you saw it, Tommy Egerter suddenly, he must have known some kind of penalty was coming.
Yeah.
Well, Fran, do you have a little update to give us?
I'm afraid I don't have much at the moment. I think Jordi was on camera, wasn't he, when they were told, and now they're wheeling his HP Pons 40 machine back towards Parc Ferme, but we've not got any movement from the Dynavolt bike in the number one position at the moment. And that, of course, the knock-on effect does mean, I believe, that the Matteo Ferrari King of Misano Monaco returns.
Well, Fran, actually, what we're seeing on our timing screens is that Torres is being reinstated at the top of the timing screens.
What?
In first. Yeah. So on our timing screens, at least, it looks as though the results are going back one lap.
Wow, that is some...
After 7 of 8 laps. So we're seeing Ferrari.
I'm not sure that, interestingly, sorry, just to add, we also have Mikel Pons down in Parc Ferme as well.
Oh, it's changed again. Ferrari's the winner.
There we go. So yeah, so
Apologies.
that's interesting then. The LCR team a bit ahead of the game there, I think.
And that's good to see them both having a hug. I mean, a very bitter hug. I think they're both very annoyed at each other. I think Egerter more annoyed at the fact, and Torres more annoyed at Egerter. Goodness me, Neil.
Goodness me. Well,
I have to say,
have you ever seen a kind of more intense emotional 5 minutes than the one Jordi Torres has just gone through?
No.
There was probably nerves and a little bit of fear defending that final lap, and then total devastation. And now he's been told that he is the champion. He's probably just trying to get his head sorted out, because, well, it would take, I think, a normal man a couple of days to come to terms with what has just happened.
The thing is,
and Tommy Egerter there being led away from Parc Ferme, and you can see he is not looking too amused.
He's fuming, isn't he?
I don't think we've seen the end of this.
Well, thing is, we've seen, I know in like track limits and things like that, there's been so much talk about, I don't like races being decided afterwards, blah blah blah, etc. However, when you're in such a situation as this, how can it not be decided afterwards? I mean, the move was just such an extreme level, really. How can it not be decided when there's this much on the line? So, you know, as much as you don't like to see it in some ways, you want to see it decided on the track itself. Why not decided afterwards when those are the circumstances? But Doesn't change it now. It could still change, as you say. Potentially the decision's not final, but Ferrari, for now, is the race winner here in Misano once again. What a ride that was from him. Cassidy, another podium at home, and Pons, another podium after he got that victory back in Catalonia. And Torres, with that 13th place finish, well, the World Cup winner. Aegerter led away. And those smiles from the team turned to very solemn faces.
Well, well, well. Still trying to digest exactly what happened. Here is a replay of what happened on the final lap. You can see Eggert attacking, coming up to turn 14 underneath Torres. And there's the clip.
Wow.
Touching Torres' front wheel. And it was actually in the back of Aegerter's bike that Torres caught his right arm. You just see there.
Now,
looked like it was jolted.
Now, Aegerter would have gone beyond track limits anyways, as well. That's got to be a factor. Goodness me.
Oh, well, mate, who would want to be an FIM steward at this moment?
Yeah,
because that is such a tight call to make, and there's so much riding on it as well. You know, you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't.
You're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
It was... I mean, there was no question. I think Aegerter deserves some kind of penalty, but is 38-second penalty the right one?
Well then, should we hear from Park Fermi? What does Mikel Pons make of that? Dare you to ask him, Fran. Kidding. How was this race?
Well, Mikel, it was quite a lot of drama up ahead of you, but you had some good speed today. You were fighting with Mattia and Matteo. You must be happy with those good points and another podium to end your season.
Yeah, I'm really happy. I fight really hard. I want to say thanks to my team because he worked very well this weekend. On the straight I lose a little bit, but on turns thank you.
We are restyled.
On turns I can go fast, and in the end the podium was so good. And I hope next year stay more on the top. Thanks.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Fran and Mikel Pons. Superb stuff from him. Then good to see him catch some form towards the end of the season as well. Moving up in the series classification to P7, so just 6 points behind Cassidy in 6th, in fact. So a good ride for him. That will be his best result since his win.
Yeah, and if he's back next year, I think Mikel Pons will definitely be one to keep an eye on. This man could be said the same of Mattia Cassidy. A second podium in 2 days. He's in Park Fermi with Fran.
Well, it was another day, but another podium for you despite the drama ahead. Another really good performance and great speed. You must be happy with that?
Not at 100% because not is my podium because crashed two guys and crashed one guy, and I'm not happy, but I don't resolve the problem with the bike. I can push at 100% and the other guys are more faster. I'm a little bit angry, but finish here with a podium. I'm happy, it's my third podium of the year, and now we're looking forward to the next season, and I want to be more competitive next year.
Well, congratulations anyway, the points are yours.
Thank you.
Oh, I expect him to be a little bit happier than that, but as I said at the top of the show, Cassidy definitely wanted that win on home soil, didn't he? But 3 podiums to round out the year, good stuff from him.
Yeah, I'm sure he was a little bit miffed at the fact that he couldn't run with those lead two, because he started well, he was right up at the front early doors, but just didn't quite have enough in hand to run the pace of Torres and Aegerter. But, well, in some respects, the King of Misano makes a return, his first win of this year. Matteo Ferrari down in Park Fermi with Fran.
Well, Matteo, you're just saying a little bit of luck for you at the end of the season, but the King of Misano is back on the top step. Such a dramatic race, but you kept nice and clean there, just in that podium fight, and in the end it's the victory as well. You happy?
Yeah, I'm really happy about this weekend because we improve every day. I learn a lot from yesterday because sometimes in the T4 I lost a little bit of time compared to the others, so I improved it today. Fortunately, during the last lap, the first two riders touched and Torres crash. So incredible season. I'm really happy to finish third in championship, fourth, second, third. Now we have to repeat again. So thanks to my team, to all my sponsors, to all my fans, because this weekend come a lot on the stand. So thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Ciao.
Not just his first win of the season, his first appearance on the podium this season. Matteo Ferrari has struggled on the whole in 2021. However, how about that? He came to Misano before this weekend, 6th in the championship, ends the season 3rd. Pretty good result for the number 11.
Yeah, especially he was struggling at the start of the year, wasn't he? But he had a great ride. Oh, well, how about this then? We're going to get to speak to the two-time MotoE World Cup winner. He's got his sideburns on. He's just about calmed down. It might take a bit longer than that, but what does Jordi Torres make of that race, that move, and becoming a two-time World Cup winner? Take it away, Fran.
Well, Jordi, that was, I'm sure, not the way you wanted to end the race, but in the end you end the season with the crown again. Back-to-back for you, winning the Cup. Talk us through it, and how are you as well?
Yeah, at the moment, I am well, and I try to close every corner, because I know that Dominic only wants to win. That maybe he do 2 or 3 overtakes too extremely aggressive, and in the last one I think the lanes was completely in collision. I tried to stay out of his lane, but it was difficult, and at the final I catch another time the bike and return. Yes, returning here another time to win the championship, for me, is a dream come true. You know, in this race, we try everything. We was very, very hard to fight in the last laps also, and we try to keep our pace very fast. That's possible in our pace. But it's not enough to take some gap to distance with Dominic, and at the final he tried to overtake in every point.
Well, congratulations on the title at least, and we're very glad to see you're okay.
Thank you.
Just more drained than anything, I think, from Jordi Torres there.
Speak for yourself.
Yes, and well, Fran just in our ears there does seem that he's maybe trying to hide some of the physical pain that he might be in after that collision. Well, Matt, I would love to hear what Dominic Egerter has to say. I'm pretty sure we know what he would say.
Yeah, can we bring him to the press conference, please? Can he have his own special one so we can have a listen to that?
Can we put him in a blue dressing gown?
Hey,
Frankie Keeley now.
I saw Frankie Keeley last night in Riccione chatting to some fans. He is, I'm pleased to say, looking quite well, actually.
It's great to hear.
Yeah, oh, look at that then. 2021 MotoE World Cup champion.
Yeah. Hashtag two-time Torres. First man, obviously, to retain the MotoE World Cup crown. And, well, this man has pretty much been overshadowed. Mikel Pons, 3rd place, 2nd podium of the year. A great result as well from Mattia Casadei. And it might have been slightly fortuitous. Well, let's not beat about the bush. Very fortuitous. But Matteo Ferrari, the first win of 2021. A winner in each of the last 3 MotoE World Cups.
Brilliant stuff from him then. Ferrari, good to see him smiling and on top of the podium once again then. Pons, a well-earned extra podium for him. 2nd time of the season, I should say, and he said 3. I was confusing him with Casadei. Casadei, 3 podiums, so it sounds like we're going to see both of them back next year then, so that's a pretty exciting prospect. So hold it high, that's a special one to do that at home. Same for Matteo Ferrari as well. Fans here as well, so great to see them check out the action as well. Michele Cicchini hands a trophy to Ferrari. He hangs it high above his head. There he is, Ferrari. How many wins then? 5 wins in 7 at Misano, if my statistics are correct. It was 4 from 5 before yesterday. 6 races, 7 races, so 5 wins in 7. I think my maths are sorted. Let's listen to the national anthem. Well, that probably doesn't get any less special for Matteo Ferrari, and look how much he's enjoying spraying the Prosecco across his fellow podium finishers then. What a ride we've had in MotoE for 2021. It just gets bigger and better every single year. Some of the best racing you'll see on the planet. Very cheeky. Now, Neil, when was the last time we've seen a champion or a World Cup winner's bike in Parc Ferme full of scuffs like that? Let's get a look at the highlights for Torres. Two-time Jordi Torres. And look at this. Torres, is he going to go for a move in? Turn 9. J1, Jordi Torres enters third place. Wow, he's got Jordi Torres for company as well. I think that's Aldeguer up ahead of them. My goodness me, he stayed upright. This is fantastic.
One's underneath Torres at turn 5.
Tightly round turn 5. On the inside of Casadei once again. Jordi Torres in third. Spectacular as ever.
Last year.
Ciccone, is he making a move? Yes, he is.
Whoa.
Goodness me, what drama here. What a race that was. Sensational, really was. MotoE 2021. I'm going to need till next year, whenever it starts, to actually get over it.
Here we have Jordi Torres coming onto the podium. Not the result he would have wanted, but well, he is champion, and at the end you have to say that's the thing that matters most.
If he was feeling any pain, he's not anymore.
He put everything into that final race, and to be fair to him, he did ride like a champion for the most part up until turn 14 on the last lap.
Yeah, that was brilliant, eh? There is an argument to say he could have, he didn't have to win it, but this is what champions do.